of speech has been attacked in the Netherlands. An email of a defense ministry employee was leaked to the Dutch media. There, it's mentioned a journalist who covered some inconvenient stories, such as exposure of hundreds of defense ministry workers to toxic chemicals. The email says that the journalist should be punished for these reports and should be added to a blacklist. A blacklist, you say? The key here is it appears to exist, and in a country with an almost exceptional level of so-called press freedom. The Netherlands has the fourth best world press freedom rating in the world this year, according to Reporters Without Borders, although in 2014 it was in second place. Well, the Ministry of Defense hasn't confirmed they indeed have a blacklist and say the person who wrote the email meant something different. Thomas Brunig, General Secretary of the Dutch Association of Journalists, is among those who are not convinced, and they will be going to the ministry on Tuesday to try and get some answers. Thomas, thanks for joining us. Tell us, what exactly is your mission when you meet these defense officials tomorrow?
Well, my mission would be to get it really cleared out that there is no such thing as a official blacklist. The minister he stated that there was no such thing, but we also want to discuss the culture that's behind it, because even if there's literally no blacklist, it also means that there is a way of thinking that they want to avoid critical journalism.
Even if there is a blacklist, what makes you think that officials will go ahead and be open and tell you that one actually exists?
Well, that's about the open state that Holland is, which you stated in the introducing statement. I mean, in Holland there's a lot of press freedom. This also means that there's a lot of access to information that is shared within the ministry, and we have access to this. So by asking for this information, we can get to the point that we also can get information about this so-called blacklist, if it exists.
Do you believe that it exists? I mean, the Netherlands, of course, we've been talking about, boasts really high standards of free speech. Why would the ministry come up with such a thing? What would it be meant to do?
Well, like you said, there's a whole different situation in Holland instead of, for instance, Russia, where there's a lot of impunity against Russian journalists that are being killed the last 15 years. But if you look at the Dutch situation, of course, there's also what we call the masters of communication. So this means that also on the ministry level, they want to have always a better sort of view on what the ministry is doing than what critical journalism are doing. And this means that this kind of culture more or less punishing critical journalism is something that is not a culture that we want to be a part of the Dutch system.
As someone who's part of this Association of Journalists, last year the Netherlands was second highest in the rating from Reporters Without Borders. This year it's moved back 2 spots. Has something changed?
Well, if you look at the first 10 or 20 spots on this list of press-free countries, there's no such thing as really a cooling down of press freedom. These are countries that are international level, international standards, have a very high level of press freedom. But this doesn't mean, of course, that things occur like the incident that we're talking about right now. And this is also why we are we are critical on it, and we want to discuss it. And luckily we can discuss it, and we can stay in this high level place.
Well, we will certainly be following your story and what you do get out of the Ministry of Defense with your meeting on Tuesday. Good luck with that. Thomas Bruning, General Secretary of the Dutch Association of Journalists. Thanks for being in the Now.
Okay, thanks for being here. Bye.